Hello and welcome back for NFL Thursday Night Football prop picks and touchdown calls. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. We're going to be diving into the picks for Raiders versus Broncos. Should be a fun Thursday night game. With it being a divisional battle, they usually end up a little closer than it always looks on paper. With the Raiders just sending Jacoby Myers away, it'll be interesting to see how this offense pans out. But let's dig in. Before we do, my name's Tyler, and come join us at Props Optimizer. You can download it on the Apple App Store or Android App Store. It is the free prop betting platform on either app. Just go there, download it, give us a review if you will, and get access to all the data and the free picks. If you don't want to view some ads, that's the only catch of the free version. You can pay $10 per month and get it ad free. Now, let's dive into some picks. Starting with the little review of the game here. We got a 42.5 total. The game is in Denver, and the Raiders are 9.5-point road dogs. Like I said, there is no Jacoby Myers anymore. So effectively, the wide receiver one for the Raiders now is Trey Tucker. Gonna be interesting how they use their rookies. I would expect Beck or Thornton to be back for them this weekend and going to get more work. That is for sure. So it's just a full-on youth movement over there in Las Vegas. On the Broncos side, there's no real, injury concerns we need to look out for. So let's get into our picks. And we got a couple of them today. We're going to start with J.K. Dobbins, lower than 72.5 rushing yards. We got Geno Smith, over 19.5 completions, and Troy Franklin, over 39.5 receiving yards. Now, getting over to Dobbins. Dobbins has been under in 50% over the last 10. He is facing the Raiders, who have actually been decent on the ground. For the year, they're only allowing 86.5 rushing yards per game on almost 22 attempts. So the yards per attempt is not very high. Meanwhile, Dobbins is averaging 15 attempts per game. To hit this line, he essentially has to average 5 yards per carry, and it's just not likely to happen. Therefore, we are going under. We also have a situation where RJ Harvey has looked very, very good and continues to work in that backfield. Last week, he was in on 32% of the carries, of the snaps, which is the most he's had since week 4. I think this 30% ish range is here to stay. I think he is going to just slowly work more and more into this offense. They obviously love him getting the ball in space, as he was used a ton in the passing game. Now, let's move on to our next pick, and that is Geno Smith. The whole pick here is Geno Smith has been over in 65% of games over his last 20 starts. Now, the Raiders are obviously a very good defense, but they're still missing Patrick Surtain. And on the year, they've allowed 18.8 completions per game, while Geno Smith is at 20.3. Judging by the 9.5 spread, I think Geno Smith is going to be throwing a lot. And while he doesn't have the receiving core he used to have, I would expect the Broncos to go into a little bit more of a prevent type D without Patrick Surtain. They're not going to be quite as aggressive, and it's just going to allow a little bit more completions, more of a bend but don't break type mentality for the Broncos. And I believe because of that, Geno is going to get over 19.5. Next, we got Troy Franklin. Now, this is a very interesting one, I think, for the reason being, if we look at Troy Franklin's targets versus Houston last week, 10, versus Dallas the week before, 8, Targets versus Giants, 10. The man has been used a ton lately, and I think that continues. Marvin Mims was out last week due to concussion. He had a limited practice yesterday, but he very well could miss once again. And Troy Franklin has big time playmaking ability, and this line is just way too low when over the last 4 weeks he's averaging 8 targets per game, and on the season he's at 7.1. The Raiders, meanwhile, allowing 165.1 yards per game. I also like Geno, or like going Sutton. If you'd rather go the Sutton over, I totally understand. He is, I believe, right around 56 yards per game, yards line, which I also like, but I think Troy Franklin just has a little bit more edge right now. So those are our 3 picks for the day. Now let's get to our touchdown call of the day, which is Troy Franklin. And just to remind you the picks here, we got under on J.K. Dobbins at 72.5. We got over on Troy Franklin at 38.5 and over on Geno Smith at 19.5. Now, let's talk a little J.K. Dobbins action here. Now, the interesting, I think, if we go to the red zone on LineStar with, Denver Raiders pulled up, and over the last four weeks, we have red zone targets. Troy Franklin has 5. Cortland Sutton has 3. But yet Troy Franklin is like plus 190 for a touchdown. I think that is just too much value when he has been used so much in the red zone, and he is a big play threat. So not only does he have to, or could he score in the red zone, he can score outside of the red zone. I just think there's too much value with that pick. So we're nailing Troy Franklin for a tutty. That is going to do it for us today, guys. We will be back with more tomorrow with our DFS breakdown of this game. And obviously, we have more picks coming later this week. Talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and come join us at Props Optimizer. The link to download it will be in the description below. Thank you, guys.